They are going all in, as the truth has been revealed surrounding this Heat organization as which all-star they are going to go after this season or in this following offseason. I'm here to break down all of the recent information, including what teams are doing looking to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether or not there's a real chance it happens, and how Miami could be at the forefront if Giannis becomes available. We'll break down all of the moving parts, including a series of different quotes from notable analysts covering the game of basketball on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, please do remember this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Scroll down to the description and click the link and use code DIGESTNBA when signing up for Kalshi to get $20 back when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the US, and you can trade on practically any real-life event, from sports to elections to even the weather in your favorite city. And tonight we have the national championship with the University of Miami taking on the University of Indiana. This is going to be an all-time classic of a football game, and it's going to be a blockbuster game, which is actually going to be cinema. It really is. Miami is looking to become what they were known as in the late 90s, early 2000s, as well as now Indiana's trying to accomplish one of the greatest college football seasons in the history of college football. Now, if you're not into the college football side of things, I understand, and I'm here to tell you that Kalshi has it all, including tonight's game against the Golden State Warriors for this Miami Heat team. And not only do they have game lines, but they also have player props. You can check out player props and trade on points, rebounds, assists, everything and anything in between on Kalshi. Again, use code DIGESTNBA when signing up to get $20 back when you trade your first 100. Now let's get to it and break down the crazy new Giannis Antetokounmpo news as things continue to progress. We've had this conversation a trillion times up to this point, and I understand. At what point are we actually going to see not only the Miami Heat, but any team in the association go out there and officially offer a trade package, or go out there and really make the move? If not, go out and actually make the move either during this season, or again, if they all get shut down, are they going to do it in this following offseason? We have a lot of new answers, and we're going to start with this, and it's from Mark Stein, and yes, the cover photo is Ja Morant, and a lot of this tweet is about Ja Morant, but it all circles back to Giannis Antetokounmpo and why the Miami Heat are simply going to be scratched from going after Ja Morant, at least based off these quotes, because it would interfere with attempting to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether it is in the middle of this season before the February 5th trade deadline, or if it's in next offseason when the next season officially starts on June 30th, where the seasons officially flip over. The Miami Heat get 2 additional first-round draft picks, which then they can use to their disposal to go out and acquire Giannis. So, one well-placed league source insisted to me that the Heat should be scratched as a Morant suitor, even if the terms are favorable, if such a move jeopardizes a future trade run at Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. All indicators are that Antetokounmpo will not be in a trade play before the February 5th deadline, but as we've often warned readers previously, that won't stop interested teams from continuing to plot future pursuits of the Greek freak. And word is that Miami believes it will be firmly in the mix as a legit trade destination for Antetokounmpo if he actually becomes available at season's end at last, as various rival teams project. So this is not just Michael Scotto or Mark Stein or whoever it may be going out there and making these claims that Miami's involved. This is going on behind closed doors of rival organizations of this Miami Heat organization claiming they have the assets, they have the ability if they decide to do it, and if Giannis decides to pull the trigger in Milwaukee and force his way out and demand his way out of Milwaukee, Miami should be the odds-on favorites to go out and acquire him because of the assets they maintain and really the position of their current franchise and how they want to go out there and win. With Pat Riley at the helm, we know his days are getting shorter and shorter. He's not going to be here forever as the president of the Miami Heat organization. He wants to win again, and getting Giannis boosts those odds more than anybody else in the association because of how great Giannis really is. And not to mention, they have Tyler Hero, they have Khalil Ware, they have Jovic. They're going to have, if it does take until this up-and-coming offseason, they're going to have 3 first-round picks. And we could find out that the Terry Rozier situation goes in favor of Miami, and they could have an additional first-round pick. Things could become very, very intriguing in just a matter of months for this Heat team, unless Giannis simply pulls the plug in Milwaukee this season. And if that happens, it may get very, very, very daunting for this Heat team, because the pressure will be then applied not only to the Bucks organization but to this Miami Heat team and any team looking to go out and acquire Giannis, because the time bomb will be ticking and you will have to go out there and move mountains in order to persuade a Milwaukee Bucks team that will be against the wall having to move one of the best players in the entire association. Now, Mark Stein was not the only credible source we have to break down. The next one, Michael Scotto, in this article. Again, all the articles will be tagged down below if you'd like to read them entirely. There are paywalls, just have to mention. But again, Michael Scotto goes on to say, Kel'el Ware has drawn interest from around the league due to his double-double production at just 21 years old and his 7-foot ability to stretch the floor efficiently, shooting 42% behind the arc. However, Miami and other teams around the league are monitoring the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he could try to hold on to Ware in a potentially bigger trade package for the Greek superstar. We just had this conversation about how the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors could be very much involved into the idea of going out and trading for Kel'el Ware in the middle of the season. Despite him only being 21, the conversations and the back and forth between Erik Spoelstra and Kel'el Ware in the recent few days leaves all of Heat Nation to believe that he may be traded, that this situation going on in Miami might not be all sunshine and rainbows, and that relationship might be tainted just enough that Miami looks to move him and acquire as many goods as they can for a 21-year-old who looks to have the abilities to be a superstar. If they're going to move him, wouldn't the best option going forward would to be try to package him and possibly even Tyler Hero being the centerpieces of a monster trade to Milwaukee in order to go out and acquire the best available player via a trade this season or in the next offseason? I think it is, without a doubt. If you're going to move Kel'el Ware, there's only a few players in the league you would be open to moving him for because of the young, obviously the upside of Kel'el Ware. We broke it down in the last episode of Heat Digest. He's only 21. He's only been in the league for 2 years, and the minutes have been shaky. We all know. If he's playing consistently, and he is a frontline starter, and one of the guys you give the keys to your organization to, who says he can't be a 20 and 15 guy, or even better than that? Right now, he's averaging basically 12 and 10, and he's playing 24 minutes a game, roughly, as they're very inconsistent in the sense of minutes that he's playing. Also, the contract flexibility you have. He has 3 years left, including the year we're currently in, so call it 2.5 years left on his rookie deal, where he's only making $4.5 million this year and next year, and then in his final year of his contract, which is a club option. Again, a lot of flexibility and a lot of power to the team that maintains him. He'd only be making $7.1 million. That is extremely cheap for someone who has such great abilities, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well in Kel'el Ware. Not to mention, like we have earlier in past videos on this channel for Heat Digest, Tyler Hero also has a lot of flexibility. Where did I put it? Right here. Tyler Hero. His contract, he has a year left on this deal outside of the year we're currently in. His ability to be available is horrible. He's also now out. He's not traveling with this Heat team. He's due to getting MRIs to a rib contusion. Check out the next episode on Heat Digest to get a full breakdown of that and what's going on with Tyler Hero in this Heat organization. But he signed this 4-year, $120 million deal. He's looking to get a contract extension, but it has been abundantly clear Miami is not willing to do so. Why is that? His availability is horrible. His production when on the floor is good, but is it great? Not necessarily. And does it translate to winning? Not really. So does Miami look to trade someone like Tyler Hero and put him alongside of someone like Kel'el Ware and make a lucrative blockbuster trade for someone in Giannis Antetokounmpo that can change the projection of the entirety of the franchise going forward? As we all know, Giannis is a freak of nature. And we still have one more quote to break down, which we'll get to now. And this one is from Zach Lowe, highlighting not only the Heat, but other teams like the Hawks, the Warriors, the Lakers, and possibly even the Knicks are all thinking to themselves, do we need to keep our stuff and wait for Giannis to become available now or in the summer? The whole league is watching. If they slide any further down in the season, does Giannis push the button now or stay in the summer? the biggest story in the NBA potentially. The idea is the same. Everyone is waiting to see what the idea is going to be from Giannis Antetokounmpo and if he pulls the plug in Milwaukee either now or later because of the lack of production, the lack of winning, and the lack of chance of going out there and competing for a NBA championship in the foreseeable future, including this year in Milwaukee. If that happens, Miami will be at the forefront to go out and acquire him. And again, that trade package could look something along the lines of a Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware at the forefront, with possibly draft compensation and more young players, as we know Miami maintains a lot of them. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this potential move for the Miami Heat, and would you do it? I'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest. Thank you guys for watching.